My name is Ed Mills, aka Millticket. I have a multimedia company, not just a casting company. Finally went to a shoot and it happened to be Jay-Z H to the Izzo. I went to the shoot, it was 300 women, some of the best women you've seen in LA. Actually got a picture with Dame that day. From then on, it was like a whirlwind.
I've worked with some of the biggest artists in the world, some of the biggest brands in the world, and of course, some of the biggest companies in the world, some of the biggest music videos, some of the biggest commercials, and been a part of some of the biggest films and television productions. There is no stopping us. When they put a wall in front of us, we're gonna break it down, we're gonna climb over it. The game of casting. Casting kind of, fell in my lap, but then it didn't come easy. An opportunity came and I chose to shine. I like to win. I don't like to just be stagnant and just say I'm a part of the culture. I want to be the best at it, and I just kept elevating in different aspects of casting, from the music video world to the film world to television to reality television to print to runway. In all aspects of casting, put my foot in it, and I'm continuing to grow year after year, day after day. From that, I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly building, and I'm constantly trying to put new people on and in position to be great as well. I've always modeled myself after one of the bigger corporations, so that's where I want to take this, and that's where I am taking it.
Make sure you got your motherfucking ticket. Let me see when it was validated.
Hey, E. Mills did it. That's all that matters.
He's validated.
My name is Ed Mills. I go by E. Mills, or E. Mills did it, aka Millticket, whatever you want to call me. What I do in this business, I have a multimedia company, not just a casting company, which you may know me for, but it's a full multimedia company. It's 4 major parts and it's added components as well. It's music, film, fashion, and sports. And then now we then branched off into a little marketing, a little PR as well. So where it all started for me is it started when I was about 14, 15 years old. A group of friends of mine started doing party promotion and building with each other and doing different clubs. And, we were just the hot spots from, I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, and then I kind of moved to like the outskirts of LA, which is called the Inland Empire. At that time, it wasn't called that. It's a specific city called Upland. But, I'm LA based. I was here, born and raised, and we just used to do all the parties from Los Angeles to Hollywood to Rancho Cucamonga to Fullerton, to all the outskirts areas to it, inside and out. I was known all around, and I built a reputation of myself, and that's how I became kind of that guy to go to for the party or event. And then, somebody kind of recognized me and was like, hey man, you should probably get into this side of things as far as like the entertainment goes. And we went from, kept trying to get me to go to a video shoot. Like, hey, go to this video shoot. And I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I'm stay doing what I'm doing, dancing in clubs and partying with women. And then I was about 19, 20 at that time. And then I finally went. That's how old it was. I finally went to a shoot, and it happened to be Jay-Z H to the Izzo. And I went to the shoot, it was 300 women, some of the best women you've seen in LA that live here or came here to act or model or whatever they were here for. And Jay-Z's there, Kanye's there, he produced that track. And then nobody really knew him at that time, but me kind of learning and knowing people and researching, I knew who he was. I seen him up there. It was like a little parade. He was on the what do you call it? I don't know, the little platform or whatever. And I was like, oh damn, it's Kanye. And I actually got a picture with Dame that day. You know what I mean? And from then on, it was like a whirlwind. I literally, that day I met the actor Jackie Long. And from that day when I met him, we clicked, it was cool. He was like, hey, I'm Ray J's best friend. Why don't you come with me to Ray J's video shoot the next day? And then from there, I went with a Ray J video. I ended up being Ray J stand-in. So now I'm learning the behind the scenes of what's going on. And from there, I'm learning, seeing, okay, what this guy does over here, what that person does over there, and it intrigued me. From then, so I kind of, the wheels started turning in my head and kind of developed a passion for this business and started focusing on it a little more. At that time, I was just getting a little fire sparked. I was just having fun. Not really fully focused in the business just yet, but it got the wheels to turning. From that point in promotions, I thought, it's kind of time for me to transition over and making it into a legit business. So, I kind of got away from the business for a while. I kind of stepped out, got a regular job, and was kind of brainstorming and thinking, but at the time, I got comfortable working a regular job, getting consistent money, not worried about where the money coming from. I ended up starting the entertainment company now. Now I created Millticket. I'm about 23, 24 years old. I created Millticket Entertainment. Didn't know what it was gonna be, but I knew it was music, film, fashion, and sports. And at that time, I gathered a lot of artists that was around me, and people around me, some of the best ones, maybe about 5, 6 artists, created a mixtape, and we put the mixtape out in the streets and traveled with it, went from different concerts and different cities, malls, you name it, we was everywhere selling mixtapes. And we sold about 15,000 mixtapes in the street, and this online wasn't even popular at the time, so we were just hand in hand with it, and a lot of people was gravitating towards it. So the buzz started building around Millticket just off of that CD. We would go to clubs, they would give us bottles, have us walk in, VIP, etc. And then from there, we started building. I wasn't even on the casting side of things just yet. So we were building the music side. It was going really well. Labels were calling, and a couple artists I was getting recognition. We were doing shows. We were performing with some of the big artists, Too Short, E40, a lot of different big artists on the West Coast we were opening it up for and doing things for. So I was more on the executive side and getting my executive side going from learning, working with different labels in the promotion and marketing side. So now I was transitioning to kind of be an executive. From there, buzz was built. I kind of stopped, got a regular job again, and was like, what, I kind of don't really want to do it. I kind of lost the passion for it. I didn't think it was my lane, because I had an artist that, got into trouble, maybe went to jail. I was like, man, maybe this is not for me, So I got a regular job, and then all of a sudden I got fired from the job. When I got fired from the job, I said, well, dang, maybe the entertainment job was for me, because I actually liked the job, and I got fired. It wasn't even on account of me. It was account of someone else's mistake, and I kind of was just there. I caught the backlash from it. And then from there, I ended up just started emailing people and trying to, get into the entertainment business, calling people I knew. And then somebody I had met was working at MTV, called me down to kind of give me a trial run. And I did a trial run, kept bringing them talent. He said, can you do this every week? I said, yeah, I can do it every week. Started bringing them talent because my Rolodex of the clubs and doing different parties and everything else, I ran it through. So I did it every week, and then maybe like weeks stopped doing it. He would pay me out of his pocket. After that, and at the time I had no car. I'm gonna tell you this, and I lived about an hour outside of the town. So I would take a train, get on a bus, and then walk the rest of the way to MTV studios. You know what I mean? Every day, and then even go find new people with no car. It was maybe like a few weeks, the job, it was a pilot. So from the pilot, it got picked up to be an actual episode, like actual TV show. So he called me like, man, you helped me get a raise in a higher position. I'm gonna bring you on, and anything I do, you're good. You're gonna be on casting. I said, oh, absolutely. So I got hired on the MTV. This was about 2007, 2006, into 2006, beginning of 2007. I was 25, about to turn 26. And from then on, I got in, first job at MTV, so I'm lit now. I got a badge, I'm walking in any club, showing up my badge. They allow me to get in. And from then on, at that point, I used that to validate me creating the casting side of the business. So girls didn't just think I'm just trying to get at them. as far as the business goes. So they seen I worked at MTV, was doing valet shows, and then so the very second video I did, well, the first video was a G-Unit artist. And then this was on the side as I'm working at MTV. I got my own thing going. I ended up doing 50 Cent's video a week later after his G-Unit artist. I'm leaving MTV, going to 50 Cent's house to do a video. This is right about the time he signed a deal with Vitamin Water. So the very first actual check to my company was from G-Unit. And then from there, it was a domino effect. You know, word of mouth came, this person wanted to come, this person wanted to come, and I just kept building and building, and I knew branding and marketing, so I knew different ways to get myself in the game. And then from there, as I'm building my name and building my brand, I started branching off and created other things, so I circled back with doing my events. I created a pool party series to build the hype and the branding as far as the casting goes, because if I have all the pretty women at my pool parties, they're wondering what's going on. Now they're calling me, and remember I have a casting company. Oh yeah. So now the business started coming back around, and every week you seeing new beautiful women. Oh, this must be the go-to guy. Let's call him now. And then all the top celebrities are coming to my events, et cetera, et cetera. It's creating a whirlwind, and now they're coming to me. You know, it's creating that energy, that aura, where people understand, oh, he's not just here today and gone tomorrow. He's gonna be here for a while. So let's keep working with him.
The game of casting. Casting kind of, fell in my lap, but then it didn't come easy. Opportunity came and I chose to shine. I like to win.
I would say when I started officially, it's about 26. I think I was a little later in the game, but I was still youthful enough to make it happen. You know what I mean? I wish I would have got more focused earlier in my career, because I would be a lot further along, I believe, if I would have focused. But then again, I think would I have been ready mentally to handle it getting in at an earlier age. You know what I mean? Because, a lot of guys get in early, and they live their life in the public and don't get a chance to get to that next level because they're still learning in their process and they make a lot of mistakes. I think I made less mistakes getting in a little bit older.
I don't like to just be stagnant and just say I'm a part of the culture. I want to be the best at it, and I just kept elevating and elevating in different aspects of casting, from the music video world to the film world to television to reality television to print to runway. In all aspects of casting, put my foot in it, and I'm continuing to grow year after year, day after day. From that, I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly building, and I'm constantly trying to put new people on and in position to be great as well. I've always modeled myself after one of the bigger corporations, so that's where I want to take this, and that's where I am taking it. When you think Disney, when you think Universal, when you think Sony, multifaceted companies, that's how I want you to think of Millticket. I've worked with some of the biggest artists in the world, some of the biggest brands in the world, and of course, some of the biggest companies in the world, some of the biggest music videos, some of the biggest commercials, and been a part of some of the biggest films and television productions. There is no stopping us. When they put a wall in front of us, we're gonna break it down. We're gonna climb over it. Like, there's too much blood, sweat, and tears for anybody to shut us down. I'm humble, but yet I still got the eye of a tiger. I got the determination to be great, not only in casting, but in entertainment as a whole. A kid from South Central Los Angeles who was fortunate enough that his parents moved him out the inner city, provided a better way of life, gave him the tools he needed. And now casting in the U.S. top cities: Los Angeles, Atlanta, New York, Houston, Miami, Dallas, Memphis, San Francisco, Oakland. You name it, we're casting in it. We're also casting internationally: London, Paris, Mexico City, Toronto.
It's a documentary, y'all.
For real.
Look.
I sent it to you anyway. I know you said you
How you look? You look like you camera ready, girl.
You got no record?
Y'all got this the behind the scenes Millticket camera. Y'all gotta know. Y'all gotta say hi to the camera.
Hi. I already said hi.
No, you gotta really say hi and smile and
I
say
did.
hi.
Hi.
Man.
Any Millticket model?
The type of child I was in the classroom, I was focused. You know what I mean? I was always focused. I wasn't a class clown, nothing like that. I might have, if I did any playing around, you know, I might have joked around here and there and got my work done. I would get my work done first and then associate with the classroom accordingly. You know what I mean? Or outside of the classroom, I was always told, you know, bring home good grades, or you can't play sports, or you can't go do extracurricular activities. I was always focused. I always had pretty good grades. You know, yeah, my parents kept me in line on that aspect. I absolutely believe to keep the child in me, because I was once told by an executive by the name of Suge Knight, which I had a sit-down meeting with him because he was attempting to sign an artist I was dealing with at the time. And, you know, we're meeting with him on a weekly basis. He said this is a young man's sport, and I believe it's a young man's sport. You know what I mean? Because as I get older and wiser, you still have to stay in tune with the youth, because they leading what's going on as far as the music, the dances, the thought process. They're more creative. It's less blockage of their mind at a younger age. You can think and be more willing to do things at a younger age. So I think you keep your youthfulness in you, and you know, it's like a ball of joy that expresses out as far as your creativity goes. A typical day in my life is sporadic. You never know what's gonna come. It might be a curveball that come your way 3 times that day that you gotta adjust and audible to. Whether, you know, I get up and adjust myself to go to work every day. Yes, I make sure I work every day and focus to work or get some type of work done every day. As far as coming to work, on Tuesdays we come in, we have our team meetings, go over what we did last week, we need to accomplish, and what we need to accomplish this week, any flaws or any positives that we had, and we try to build off of that. So everybody learns something every week, and everybody get to put their input in on how they did, what we think they did as a team, and we just keep building forward. And like I said, it's so many different curves balls that comes our way, where we can be putting out fires 1 minute, but then seeing success the next. You know, so it's a constant grind that you can't stop and let up off of. Well, how I built up my expertise in this particular field, which is entertainment as a whole, is I did a lot of research. I studied. Even today, I do a lot of research and I study. Things I don't know, I try to put myself around the people who knows them. I might read books of people I idolize or look up to or I admire, like things of those nature, or put myself in the same rooms as these people. And at the same time, rub elbows and just make sure I'm constantly learning and trying to soak up and be a sponge to any information that I can get.
Make sure you got your motherfucking ticket. Let me see when it was validated.
Hey, E. Mills did it. That's all that matters.
He's validated.
Say Russell Simmons is one of a guy who's been very successful in the business, and I would research him. I knew him. I read his books. I Googled him and made sure I knew any and everything about him. Or somebody behind the scenes, not even that's next to Russell, I know who they are and seeing them. So now when I'm at a convention or at an event, oh, that's such and such. Let me go make it a point to say what's up to them. And they sometimes will be valued, or they'll be excited to the fact that I even know who they are, because they're not in the limelight. So now they want to give you information, and I just tried to be any and everywhere I could. You know what I mean? So if something is going on in Vegas, I'm there. If something going on in Miami, I'm there, etc. So they wondering like, what do you do? Who are you? Then I explain, man, I'm trying to do this. I'm doing this. I'm working on this. Okay, man, you seem like a cool dude. A year later, I see him. You that same guy I keep running into. Let's do something, you know what I mean? And then that's how it began. Another thing to help me with my expertise is repetition and being persistent. You know what I mean? So the repetitions things I did to get to where I'm at, I gotta make sure I keep doing them and don't give up just because it may not work that first time or second time or third time. You gotta keep moving and keep going towards what you're working towards, and you will get to where you're gonna go, which is the end of the road. You know what I mean? It ain't the end, but it's the end to the next road, you know? Some other misconceptions that people put on this world that we're in is, you know, they have a misconception of that music videos are just ass-shaking videos, but yet there's some videos with amazing concepts. They're really short films, so it requires acting. And we also not only just cast music videos, we cast commercials, films. I did the Adidas commercial with Daps, you know what I mean? So, and that was all across the board where you see actresses, athletes, entertainers, etc., all in one film. You know what I mean? Short film, that is, which is a commercial. And we also do films, which we did the New Edition project. And I did Ballers, a TV show, TV series. So it's a lot more than just music videos that we do. And it's a lot more than ass shaking. Man, so a run through of some projects that I've done over my continuous career. I would say I've worked for everybody from Lady Gaga, I did YG, damn near 90% from beginning of his career to the end of his career, I've done all his videos. So you can name it, from left, right, to to Drake, Way Too Sexy, Nipsey Hussle, Hustle in the House, first major video, Keys to the City, Tyga, Taste, Dip. I didn't do Dip, my bad. Let me get that one off. I did the marketing for Dip. You know what I mean? So people don't know we do the marketing side of things, so we did the marketing for those records as well. But then some other projects, I'm getting a blank, throw some projects at me. Justin Bieber, Kendrick Lamar, Humble. As the interview goes on, you will see a lot more projects we've done.
We got our steady cam going on. Nips is gonna show up and this thing's gonna be off the hook. I'm enjoying the energy, that's for sure.
We right here on Bryanhurst in Hyde Park, 63rd, shooting the Hustle in the House video. This is one of the major blocks in the hood where a lot of the content for them records, this is where it happened at.
I think a misconception that people think of as far as what we do is they think 1,000 women are just sitting here ready to work, or guys are here ready to work and ready to go at the drop of a dime, which they don't understand. We're doing the due diligence of making calls, making sure they're available that day, make sure they're interested in the project, make sure they're comfortable with every aspect of the treatment that they're required to do, and then make sure they will show up on time and be to set on time. Don't leave early. Be a good person to work with on set. Have the right personality, is outgoing, etc., etc., etc. It's a lot more that goes on, even finding the talent that even fits for the project. I can't have this arrogant energy on this job. I really need you like on top of your A game. Session fee 1 for OCP. You don't see that next time?
Session fee 1 for OCP.
The first thing.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, I have that 375 for a travel day.
So what do you mean you didn't know for travel?
Heading to the set. Man, it's another day, another dollar. They sound like they going up in here already.
And as far as how I build clients, in the beginning, it's more, you're doing a lot of outreach, you know? You're doing a lot of outreach, because you yourself, you might be in the business, but you might be used to working with this person that you're already working with for over 20 years. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, correct? That's the way it typically works. So I used to get mad and frustrated at that aspect, but I said, you know what? One thing I know how to do outside, I use something to my advantage. Remember I told you, we're gonna circle back around, I had a background in marketing and promotion. So I knew how to market and promote myself. So I came up with E-Mills Did It, which is the hashtag and the saying that kind of catapulted me to the next level, because I said I know how to outmarket and outbrand my competitors. So I said, the guys that have been here 20, 30 years, yeah, they can have whoever they have now, but I'm gonna work on building the new clients up, the new talent, and the new artists that's coming in the game that might be on the verge of bubbling, and build their videos up where they have the hottest girls more than the established artists, and then at the same time brand myself and brand my company, and then they're gonna start coming to me, which eventually happened. The importance of having a team as the ball gets to rolling. But in the beginning, I didn't really necessarily have a team. I kind of just appointed people in positions as I started building myself. You know what I mean? Because in the beginning, it was all me. I was a one-man army. I wanted a team, but I just couldn't find the right people or work with the right people because I value my brand. So I didn't want people to dilute my brand or even mess up my brand by doing foul things within my business. So I kind of was like a one-man army by myself for a good 5-6 years, and then I started bringing in pieces, one piece at a time. I might try another piece, and they get faulty, I cut it off, and then I'm now just starting to get into a solid team where I can trust, and they're helping bring things to the table and elevate me as well as the company. What being an entrepreneur did for me as a person, it showed me as humans we adapt. We adapt to the next circumstance. We adapt to any situation. We always can make something happen. Even when our backs are against the wall, you as a human, you adapt to it. You know, okay, well, this bill now is $10,000 a month. You don't know how you're getting this $10,000 a month, but you make it happen to get that $10,000 a month and still have some money in your pocket to live. You know what I mean? So you on a constant hustle and you a constant grind, and you make things happen. My moment of wonder was I was about, like I said, 26 years old, and I think in every man's life, around 26, 27, it clicks on them. Like, hey, I'm almost 30. I need to have something stable, and I need to be focused, and I need to be able to take care of a family, and let alone my immediate family as well. So it was like a manly instinct kicked in me. And I kind of noticed this same instinct as it was happening to me a few years earlier. My cousin was going through it, and I was wondering, like, why is he acting like this? And why is he changed up from how we used to be working with each other? And then I got it, and I had that conversation with him. He was like, yeah, you just didn't understand at the time because you was three years younger, still having fun and not thinking about the responsibilities you had to have as a man. And as a man, it clicked in me, and I said, I gotta get going. And from then on, it was clicking like clockwork. What inspires me the most is, I say it day in and day out, it's like, and I call it my heroes, is my family, my mom and my dad, seeing what they went through in life, struggles they went through, and how they conquered them. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people get down and out and don't know how to get out of it. I seen them work their way out of the bottom of the bottom. You know what I mean? Whether just in living life and emotionally and within the relationship. You know what I mean? So that inspires me that you are able to change. You are able to come up out the gutter. I've seen it done visually in my own household. And that inspires me, and I want to keep working and keep doing it. So I want to show them things that they've never seen, and show my nieces and my sisters and brothers, and there's more to life than anything you can imagine. So, you know, get on my back, let's go.
My dad was very impactful in my life, led by example, show any sweat. If he was going through something, you would never know. With that, I'm the same way. If I'm going through any trials and tribulations, you will never know. Whether I'm up or whether I'm down, I'm a rock steady. He influenced me in so many different ways, where he taught me grind, grit, determination, and overall, the ability not to quit. If you fall down, get back up. Fall down again, get back up. You get punched in the mouth, you punch him right back. My father left a legacy within me that I carry on the torch and keep the legacy going. The legacy of greatness. Even though my father's not here this day, he's forever within me and everybody around me. And I definitely love him with all my heart. And I'm grateful for all the values he embedded in me and the knowledge he gave me. Rest in peace, Pops.
And how I ensure I have fun is, this business is fun. So you gotta make sure you work and play. And I make sure I work and play, and whether it's me and my family going all out somewhere, or me and the friends, or me and the coworkers, sometimes we'll leave here, the office, and go to happy hour right after, and that's what we'll do. And like, for example, we got a job tomorrow where it's gonna be work and play. It's gonna be a pool party, and we're providing models, but I'm gonna let my team off early as well, and they can have some drinks as well and enjoy the party as well. A life-changing book that I would recommend, and it actually changed my life at the time, and this was around 2012. My sister kept telling me to read this book. And, you know, I'm not paying attention. I'm not really of a reader. I wasn't really of a reader at that time. And so I ended up seeing a snippet of it going over a friend's house with my cousin. It was The Secret. And then after I seen that, I went back and read the book, you know, and it inspired me and it opened my mind up. And I went to my sister, was like, why haven't you been telling me why you didn't tell me to read this? She's like, I've been telling you, but you wasn't listening. I wasn't ready to receive what was in The Secret. And another person watched it with me and read it as well. They just wasn't ready to receive it yet. You know, so it's different times in your life where you're ready to receive something, but I tell everybody, read The Secret. One quote, this is just one quote that my dad always told me. And he said, no woman wants a broke man. And at the time, I didn't understand it as much. You know, you just think it's, you know, I looked at it at surface level, you know, but it was deeper than that because to me, like that's in general life and anything you're doing, you gotta work and you gotta get to a certain level to be successful and to take care of things around you. Same thing with a woman. She doesn't want a broke man, not necessarily because she wants to be a gold digger, et cetera, et cetera. She wants that security to let you know you're able to take care of her and future children and family or anything else. You can run a household. How I want to be remembered is I want people to know I gave it my all and that I wanted to put enough people on because that way they're able to help their families as well as I'm helping my family. You know what I mean? So if I do enough to enlighten you to get to the next level, to make your family successful, I've done my job. Hi, my name is E. Mills, and you've seen and heard the wonders that have got me here.